Hey, what's up, everyone? My name's David. I'm on the Stone Destroyer channel. First off, I want to apologize for my long absence on this channel because I was like, oh yeah, I have these videos planned out and all this. And yeah, Google didn't exactly make it easy to connect your accounts. Well, I connected the accounts, but then finding this one, it turned out to be kind of a pain in the ass. But anyway, I do have at least one more video that's ready to go besides this, but this one's coming first. And there's a reason for that. Now, first off, the people who are subscribed to this channel went through my videos. They're going to know that I'm a fan of like Power Ranger stuff, especially the Legacy stuff, because the Legacy stuff is turning out to be amazing. You know, they're doing a really good job with it. They're releasing things, like just little things like the helmet set, which apparently just didn't sell like they thought it would. So now I believe it's on the Toys R Us website for like $16.98 or something like that. So less than 20 bucks. And I think it came out for like 30 or 40. So, kind of a pretty penny, and especially when you consider the fact that the prototypes actually had the separate helmets. Because I'm weird, I really wanted it to be, you know, the Mastodon, Pterodactyl, Triceratops, Saber-tooth Tiger, Tyrannosaurus, Dragonzord. In that order, because that's the way it went on the show. But, you might be able to see in the background, I did a review of it, and you can't move them around unless you want stuff, you know, in the wrong, like the helmet with the different name and coin logo and all that. So, but you know, it was a cool set, and they're also releasing some other stuff like the armored sets. Like they have some of the newer stuff, the Super Mega Force, which you know I don't care about. But they did a Green Ranger, which I did a review on that. I also got the White Ranger, which is pretty much the same thing, same body, just different accessories. And the Morphers are awesome, as well as the Dragon Dagger. Just amazing. The only thing I don't have so far in the Legacy stuff is the Comic-Con exclusive gold-plated Morpher. If I ever come into some money that I can just blow $300, I might get that, but as of right now, no way. I want it, but not that bad. In fact, I really wish they would have done the coins in the same way, where they're bright and shiny instead of looking aged, but I guess that goes with like the Legacy thing. But first things first. I'd actually done a video, I'd recorded a video on this, because when I realized that because they had the Morpher, and then they released the Legacy Megazord, and I was like, well, I have the original. Why do I need the Legacy Megazord? It's just the 2010 one with a couple of little things on it. Why do I need that? So I just decided to skip it. And got the Morpher, loved it, thought it was awesome. And then when I found out they were doing the Legacy Dragonzord, I was like, oh man, I should have gotten that Megazord. And I found one that was returned. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to get it. Now, it wasn't at the original price. I believe the original price was $49 or $59.99. And then it went up to $69.99. I had a couple discounts, and then I put it in layaway, too, so I could just make a few payments. So I got it, and I'm going to say this. Unboxing it was awesome. I've had 3 chances in my life to completely open up a brand new Mighty Morphin Megazord and put it all together. Because, I mean, even the original, like when I first got it when I think it was on my 9th birthday. I knew how it went together because of the show. You know, I was like, okay, yeah, and it snaps together exactly like that. And then I got my new one, which I have on display right now. I have a couple of the pieces from my original. So unboxing that felt great. And unboxing the Legacy one felt great. But getting it out of the box, I was really just so disappointed in it. And, you know, because some of the things that should have been die-cast weren't. I mean, they made very few things die-cast, like the arms for the Mastodon, the head for the Pterodactyl, which you don't see if it's in Megazord mode, the legs on the Tyrannosaurus, and the guns for the Saber-tooth Tiger and Triceratops. Now, I accept the fact that we're never going to have a Megazord that's completely accurate between, you know, being regular Zords and being in Megazord mode, because it's just not going to happen. I accept that. You know, the Mastodon was a lot bigger than it is, you know, when you transform and everything. But, you know, they could have done things like change the horns for the Triceratops, like made them more show accurate instead of just like a throwback to the original. And they're too bulky, like they stick out too far. Those weren't die-cast. The teeth for the Saber-tooth Tiger weren't die-cast. I understand not making the sword die-cast because that's a lot of die-cast. But, and then also I haven't put on all the stickers. I'm going to go ahead and go with repro labels. I'm going to leave the factory applied ones on and keep the sheet, the factory sheet, and then just put on the other stuff from repro labels. It's only like 30 bucks for the set, so I was like, yeah, why not? If I ever do decide to sell it, which probably won't happen anytime soon, if I do sell it, they'll have the choice. They can take off the repro labels and put on the originals, or take off the originals and put on the other repro labels, etc. But I was just really disappointed in it. You know, I wouldn't say like it made me angry, but I was just really disappointed. You know, getting this thing all together, I'm just like, this is it. And like I said, it's the 2010 one. I can accept it being smaller, but one thing that just really pissed me off was the fact that so many of the factory applied stickers, they don't want to stay on. You get like these air wrinkles in here. I wouldn't even call them air bubbles. They're just like wrinkles that pop up, and no matter how much you smooth it down, they just pop back up. And there's really no way to fix that because they're these thin little foil ones. But I mean, nonetheless, it is cool. And what I do is I just put it with my Rangers. I have the original head flipping, the morphing ones, so I just put them separately in their Zords since I have an Ultra Zord. And you know, they're fine. You know, you can't really see them, but I'm not going to say, like, I'm mad, like, I shouldn't have bought that, I should have returned it. No, nothing like that. But I'm really excited about this. This is the selling point of the video, and I rambled on for too long. But as I always do, I go into a lot of detail. But put the Dragonzord on my credit card. I'm like, I don't have the 80 bucks to just drop it, and I'm going to pre-order it, which I was glad when I did, because not even a week later, it was off the site, couldn't pre-order anymore. And then today in the mail, Tuesday, they were forecasting it would be here tomorrow, but tomorrow being Wednesday, but got it in the mail. I just went to do a couple errands, got back, saw a box on my porch, and I got it. First off, it's amazing. I mean, just seeing the pictures, the big selling point was the articulated tail. People on Ranger boards were like, oh my god, the tail is articulated! And it's like, yeah, that's amazing. And then seeing the box, like when I saw like the pictures at the toy shows, I'm like, oh my god, it's like really reminiscent of the old one. And it's not the old one. Like, and I'm glad they didn't use like the original and, you know, do this. And it's like, oh, well, see, it's more like the original. No, they used the new one with the added legacy, and then they had like the kind of lights around the words. I really wish I kept my old boxes. But like the other ones, this is 15 and up. Because this is a collector's piece. I mean, I guess kids could play with it. It's kind of funny because a girl I know that works at Toys R Us, some kid was going through the line, and he was buying the Morpher, and he was like, 15 and up. I guess this kid was like 8. He was like, who over 15 will play with it? And she was thinking, I know a guy. But anyway, you know, it's very cool. So like the side of the box, I mean, most of these boxes are going to be the same. You know, the story in multiple languages. The top, you know, has the cool Green Ranger picture with the Dragonzord. The legacy, not metallic on that side. And then it has like the stats, the little card, the secret of the Power Zords. The bottom's just all the warnings. The back, since Titanus isn't out, which quickly I'll go into that. As of right now, I'm not planning on getting the Titanus. It's going to be like $200 when it comes out. Which, I mean, that's the price it is. You know, it is what it is. You know, I'm not one of those people like, oh, I can't believe they're going to charge that much. There's obviously a reason for it. I mean, they're charging 80 bucks for this, which you're going to see in the review why. But I don't plan on getting it. I might. I don't know. So anyway, like on the back, they don't have the Titanus, but they show like, you know, how the Zords go together. So, you know, you can do the Megazord. It doesn't have the names, which kind of annoys me, but I believe that's Dragonzord Battle Mode. I'm not sure if I got that right on my Repro Labels Ultra Zord review. And then I believe that's the Mega Dragonzord or the Dragon Megazord. I'm mixing those up, probably. But, you know, same as the others, metallic paint, die cast. But one thing that was scaring me is because the hands on the prototype pictures, you know, he was going like this. I'm like, how's it going to go into the shoulders or, you know, go back in there so you can go out? But let me go ahead and grab that. But I'm going to go into a lot of detail on this and, you know, show the different combinations and stuff. So here right now is pretty much the pride of my Power Ranger collection, besides my Ultra Zord. That's really cool, especially since it's original. And I know a lot of people on Ranger Board were like, why would you get rid of the original stickers, you know, and put on Repro labels? That's because I like accuracy, which, by the way, this is completely accurate because for some reason, I have no idea why, out of all of the Zords they did, out of all of them, the Dragonzord got really screwed. You know, they added all like the Thunderbolts and all this weird stuff, and I have no idea why. Now, maybe it's so people, they couldn't take it and like sell it as the original Japanese one, but still, they could have changed a little bit, but it was kind of ugly, like with all those with all the lightning bolts and everything. I'm just like, why would they do that? But like I said, the big selling point is the articulated tail. And it's weird because I had a dream. I'm like, oh yeah, you're probably going to be able to snap the tail in like this to make it more rigid. turns out that was the way it is. I'm not trying to say I'm clairvoyant or something, but the tip of the tail on the original Japanese one, like the old one, it was die cast. We didn't get that, but we got a plastic one, but the tip came off and most people lost it. And it wasn't that accurate, but it wasn't that terrible either. And the reason why the tail was only about like here on the original, so you could take it off and put it on the staff, because on the staff, which I'm going to show later in the video, it's way too long. They say it's an 11-inch tail, which, yeah, I can definitely see that, but having the articulated tail is awesome. I mean, that's something that we always wanted. In fact, I was going to try to mock one up. They have like the drill patterns on there, unlike the original. But the thing is, there's no stickers on this. It's all painted, which I think is a lot better. Now, I do enjoy putting stickers on, but having it all painted to me is a lot better. First off, he looks more like the show. Like, the face just looks awesome. You can actually close the mouth. It's not like that thing where it just kind of hangs. And then, like, the head pops down, which, again, I'm going to show later, because the original just kind of swing there. And you had to kind of mess with it to get it right. But the thing is, the die cast on this, in my opinion, they did right. They really did. Not everything that could have been die cast is, but a lot of it is. But quickly, I want to say, like, a lot of people have apparently had this problem with this tail. I mean, this head fin is bent. So it's kind of like when you were a kid, you know, you'd be in the bathtub and do the spike with the shampoo, and it would just kind of tilt to the side. But it's not really that big of a deal. I guess some people have taken a hairdryer to it, but I'm too afraid of messing up the paint. So I can live with it, because it's going to be sideways on the shelf anyway, with my Green Ranger and my Morpher and Dragon Dagger. But anyway, the die-cast pieces are the feet. So, like, that whole foot, like, those are die-cast. That's not die-cast. The claw, the shoulder pieces, that's die-cast. The whole crotch section, or the lower section, whatever you want to call it, that's die-cast. And then the front of this chest piece here. There's no electronics. I don't know if I said that before, but there's no electronics on this guy, which I'm fine with. I mean, I really don't need the beep, 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 especially since it didn't sound like the show. I mean, if they could have done it like the show, I would have been fine, but that probably would have added quite a bit into it. And again, it's for collectors, so who cares? But the thing about the hands is, I guess, instead of just having the straight hands, I would, you know, go in and do all that, and having these between the two, they're just like, have both. So I'm really happy with that. It's amazing. I mean, like, the paint jobs, I mean, this looks like it does on the show. Maybe not 100%, but it really does look like it. And like I said, having all the painted stuff is awesome. And there's a lot more articulation, too. It's not just like the legs have this guy here, and then you can move this a little bit and have him leaning down or leaning back. You can actually swivel tilt the feet a little bit. There's actually a couple points of articulation on the legs. And, you know, the tail, all these sections move. Not a lot, but they move nonetheless. And you can tell in the show they just had a string kind of holding it up. But, you know, you can go off to the side with it. And, yeah, it's amazing. I'm just so happy I went ahead and pre-ordered this thing, even though it was $80-some. But this is one that doesn't need repro labels at all, at least to the best of my knowledge. So I guess they can skip on this one. But I'm going to go ahead and show in some more detail up close, in a better light, all the different stuff, like the dragon claws that are actually molded in, like here at the bottom of the feet. This part right here is plastic. That's the part that they just added. Not a sticker. They actually did it right, so it actually does look like the show. But I'll be right back, because I'm going to go ahead and show the different combinations, show this guy up close, show everything it does. Again, this is going to be a long review, so hope you guys enjoy it, but I'll be with you in just a second. Alright everyone, first off I want to apologize. There's probably going to be a lot of thunder. We're going to be getting some thunderstorms here, but I figured I'd show first the magnificence that is the Legacy Dragonzord. I'll try to get a good angle on this. Alright, so first things first, he is a bit thinner, and I'm going to be doing a comparison between this and the original, which I have that one ready to go. As I said, there's actually quite a bit of die cast on this. The feet, this entire, except for the bottom, that's plastic. That's plastic right there. But the whole crotch area and this front part of the chest piece, and then the claw pattern, like when you bring it together, it's a claw. Those are all die cast, which is really cool, because unlike the Legacy Megazord, they actually, it seems like they were thinking about this. Here are the other set of hands. I showed the other when I was the other set when I was sitting on my couch, but I just figured I'd put these on for when I do the comparison. Like I said before, this tip is bent, which hopefully it'll work itself out in time. Whether it does or not, I don't know. Yeah, it looks like there's already a paint chip on there. I'm gonna have to take some gloss black and touch that up, apparently, even though I have done very little with this. But nonetheless, so the tail, this is the part that everyone was excited about. You know, very accurate tip, and it's posable. Not as posable as I would have liked, but nonetheless, I'm going to take what I can get on this, because that is amazing. And they say it's 11 inches long. It's a really big tail. I mean, it's huge on there, so that's really awesome. And then, try to get a good shot. The teeth actually look really good, and then you can actually see the eyes. It's like they droop down and all that, like the original does. You can see the face in there, which I'm not sure if that's 100% accurate, but for this, not a big deal. And again, there's no stickers. All this stuff is actually painted. So no repro labels for this. These are actually molded. Same with these front claws. That is awesome. The Zoo Ranger logo there. These are all sculpted in. So yeah, it's amazing. And then the tail parts are too. So really, really, really awesome. I mean, this thing is amazing. I am so glad I got this. I'm so glad I put on pre-order when I did, because it is just absolutely amazing. And it's a bit more show accurate, I believe, with size. Let me grab the Legacy Megazord. So here's the Legacy Megazord, a bit bigger, but it still looks like the Dragonzord is like a force to be reckoned with. You know, because it was, you know, a challenge for the Megazord to defeat. So really good size difference between the two. Very accurate, and you know, you can actually put them together, because like I said before, I mean, we're never going to have completely accurate, you know, between the individual Zords and them combined. They're not going to look accurate both ways, but I'll take what I can get. But here's a comparison between the new and the old one. The old one, it was very like, you kind of had to bend it down like that. You could kind of have it back a little bit, but not much. You kind of had to have it downward, even though on the box it was like up, kind of like from a downward shot. Again, this is what I was talking about with the eyes. They're kind of sunken in, and like the whole jaw piece moves. You can't keep the mouth closed. It's kind of open all the time. This one does have the lights and sounds. The Legacy one doesn't, but you know, we're pretty much all collectors getting this. We're all adults for the most part getting this, so I think we can kind of forego that. I did get the repro labels ones, so these are very nice, very detailed, so they did a good job. So I say repro labels, you know, they did a really great job with these, but the Legacy one, you don't need this. And it is more show accurate, but I mean, they're repro labels. They're not going to make, you know, sticker sheets that are going to be like, you know, raised and relieved and all that. This one does have like the gold chrome on some pieces, like the chest piece and then the dragon claw. But this one does not. It's definitely more collector grade, just gold paint, which is more show accurate. But the original Megazord, it's shorter, but like fatter. The new one, the Legacy one, is taller and then a bit thinner. It looks more like how he did on the show, which I think is a lot better. Here comes the rain. Sorry if you guys can hear that. But also, these parts here, these are molded in instead of having a sticker. Just a very awesome figure. I mean, I'm so glad I got this, you know, because like I said, I wasn't going to get the Megazord, and I'm glad I did. Even though I'm not going to be combining them on my shelf for display, because I already have my original stuff in Ultrazord mode. I don't need these. Plus, I just want to have this with my Green Ranger, my Armor Green Ranger, as well as my Dragon Dagger and Morpher. So, let's go ahead and talk about one other thing. Just one little tiny thing. And that is the other accessory, which is the staff. Now, the weird thing is, I'm not making this up. Like, this is literally how it goes. So I don't know if that's so you can actually get him, like, the Mastodon hand to hold it or what. But the original is much bigger, which is weird because the new one's, like, in a smaller scale, but you wouldn't think it'd be this small. But the old one is flat and has this handle, which apparently everyone lost. I don't know. I didn't have the original when I was a kid, so I don't know if that's like... I probably would have lost it, but I believe this is more accurate to the show. This, I'll show how this works, and I'll do a comparison between the two. First things first, before I show the comparison, what you do for this is you actually slide this out, and then you can put the tail in because it's much too wide to put it in there. I'm kind of a stickler, so I always make sure like screw holes are like facing rear, so you don't see it. But that's how that works. And then I showed, you know, you can push the tail down or separate it. If you push it down, it's more rigid. So I just wanted to show that real quick. And then also, instead of having the handle that you would lose, you actually fold this piece down in the back, and there's a handle that pops out. And I think that's where the angle comes in, because you could like put it in the hand. And again, you know, you don't lose the handle, but here's the comparison, and the camera can barely even pick it up. But this is one thing that the tail is kind of lacking. That's way too big. The original, it seems, they did this properly, so they could actually do this. Just has the 3 sections, so it's something like an antler staff. I forget what it's called in Japanese, but the staff. So the new one, much too tall. But I mean, honestly, I don't really see a lot of people displaying it like this. I just really don't. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there are people out there that really want to do that. But while I have this apart like that, I can show the Dragonzord. This is with the chest piece out. And this actually works very effectively to put these in. I was kind of worried about that, but it actually slides in. It's not as like clunky as the original, because the original one, you have to kind of like slide it in, and I don't know, it just feels kind of clunky. And then also these stickers on the front, these always want to come off, so I like, since I kind of keep my fingernails a little long anyway, that kind of helps. But this one, well, first off, it has actually like painted holes in there, but it slides in. It just feels like it fits in like a glove. Now, you do have to have these hands. You can't have like the relaxed hands to do this. But then the other thing, these flip up. There's also another hinge in there too, so you can put that in there. And the thing is, like, these are really big and bobo, unlike the original. The originals, they're about the same size, but it just seems like that Z is much more show accurate. I think Repro Labels, they were striving more for like the Japanese version than like TV accurate. But these slide in like that, and you could do a couple different Zord combinations. Sorry, I kind of messed that up with this. So I'm going to go ahead and show a couple of these. While I'm combining these, I just want to throw in some real quick. It's funny how I don't even need instructions. I just remember from the show how these combine. I just want to throw that in real quick. Alright, so might as well just show the transformation. Put that down in the legs, which I really hate those pegs. That's one thing I really hate about the Legacy Megazord, is those pegs. It's not show accurate. But you flip the little face down. I believe that helps keep it in place. I know it did on the original. Then you put the Mastodon on the back. And then one thing they do to help keep it secure, and this also helps with another mode too. There's a little tab that goes in here. It's kind of tough, but it's supposed to snap in place. Okay, it doesn't really matter, but so have the nice big dragon claw on the front, which I always loved. I thought that looked amazing. Then you throw in the staff. And that is Dragonzord Battle Mode. Again, this tail is way too big. But one thing I do love is, and some people might think it looks goofy, this is actually show accurate. And like I said, these are big and bobo. These are huge. But that's how it looked on the show. It just looked massive. It's like they almost looked out of place. But this is really cool. This is an awesome transformation. Even though on the show, I think they rarely did it. I think it's because, you know, they could just have the Megazord and the Dragonzord. This, I guess, had more power because the Dragonzord has more armor or something. But really cool, even though it is really top heavy. I mean, these legs are just, they're really shaking because there's so little die cast on these. It's just these tails that are die cast, and the Dragonzord has this, so it's top heavy from that. Has the claw, this crotch section, so it's really, really heavy, and like it already weighs a bit. So that's the Dragonzord battle mode. So let's go ahead and show the Mega Dragonzord, I believe is what it's called. Alright, so that is the, like I said, I believe it's called the Mega Dragonzord. I believe on the original, they said you were supposed to put like the chest piece under one of these and then the tail at the bottom, which I don't remember that being on the show. But one thing I forgot to point out was like the little details in here. These are painted on as well. And it's awesome. Now, this thing, I mean, the Megazord already weighed a bit. Added with this Dragonzord, because I mean, this is pretty much all the die cast. With the exception of the front part of the chest piece. I mean, this thing weighs a few pounds. It's got a lot of heft. So it's really top heavy. Now, apparently there is, I think they call it a mix and morph Titanus that some people are using to make an Ultrazord with this. But this is pretty much, I think the Dragonzord is actually a little too big for the Megazord, in all fairness. I think these parts in the head are a little bit too big. But they did make it work. It's kind of hard to keep the stuff aligned because it is so heavy. But it looks amazing. It's unfortunate that, you know, these are the ones that look awesome, and I'm not going to spend, what is that, like $160 more just to get these, like a second set so I can have an Ultrazord, while I have, you know, the really accurate Ultrazord, like the original ones. But you know, this is really cool, and these are the kind of toys I like to break out and just transform and mess with after a while, because it's just, I don't know, these are really cool. And it honestly, like, if these would have been out when, you know, we were kids, that just would have been amazing. So that is the review. So I just want to give some final thoughts on this, so stand by. Alright, so I just figured I'd give some final thoughts on this, and I have the box too. I just want to say, like, you know, opening this box, because this was one of the toys I really wanted as a kid, and I never got it. By the time I was about to get it, Power Rangers was kind of dying off in popularity, but I really wanted this because my dream was to have the Ultrazord, and I finally have one, which is awesome. But opening this was just amazing, especially since it is very reminiscent of the old box. But this thing is really awesome. And like I said earlier in the video, I was just really disappointed in the Legacy Megazord. That's not to say that it completely sucked or anything like that. You know, I'm glad I got it, especially since I can combine it with this. But, you know, there's certain things I think they really screwed up on. I don't think they should have just done a re-release of the 2010 one, especially since it went to the same price as this. The price didn't go down or anything. Went to the same price. It was $69.99 when I got it. It was cheaper at first, but like I said, I held off. But, you know, for that kind of money, I think a retooling would have been in order, since they completely started this from scratch. Unless they had this in the vault somewhere or something weird like that. You know, I really think they kind of let us down on that. Even though, like, I know I'm probably in the minority on that. A lot of people are probably like, dude, I love that thing. What is your problem? And, I mean, I don't hate it. It's just certain things I just really wish they would have done differently. But this is just awesome to me. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I mean, this is just probably one of the coolest toys I have in my collection, because it looks like he does on TV. And I always thought the Dragonzord just looked awesome. He just had a look to him, almost evil, but not really quite. I don't know. I mean, I know the Green Ranger started out as evil and all that. At least in the American one. I think in the Japanese one he actually died. But anyway, so this is awesome. And if you guys can pick it up, like I said, it's like $79.99. Since mine was shipped from the same location I bought it from, well, not same location, but the warehouse, I think they had to charge me tax. So it was like $80-some. So it was pricey, but Toys R Us, they usually have free shipping on orders, I believe, over $50. So I believe you get that. And mine was actually packed pretty well. There are some dings in the box, like the corners and stuff, which, I mean, I don't care. I mean, yeah, I'm going to keep the box and everything, but... so if you could pick, especially if you have the Legacy Megazord, it's definitely worth picking this up. Or if you don't have it, like if you're just a big fan of Green Ranger stuff, and you know you've always wanted an awesome Dragonzord that actually does combine with other stuff, it actually is functional, and isn't like some tiny version that, you know, it's really cool, but it's like $80, because they did have a Megazord that was, I think it was Japanese. It was like super posable, super awesome. And, you know, the picture's like, wow, that looks really awesome, but it's only, like, this tall. It's like, I'm not going to pay, like, $80 for that. But this is just an awesome figure. I saw one other review on it, because once I learned that my order was shipping, I'm like, oh my god, maybe some other people have it. I want to see what this thing looks like. I have to know. And I saw some guy, he's in, I believe, Montreal. And he was kind of doing it with his camera with one hand, so he was having a hard time combining it, which... Hey, I think that's the most angry Canadian's ever been. But, so I know mine's not the first or anything like that, but I was just so excited that I just had to get this video out, because it is just amazing. And I know so many people, they were just looking forward to it, and I know I was. I'm like, oh my god. Because they said June 30th, I believe, was the date it was supposed to be released, and it's not even June yet, but... When I got that email, I'm like, oh my god, I was just so excited. I'm like, yes, you know. And like I said, this actually might be one of the last Legacy things I get, with the exception of maybe a couple things here and there. Titanus, not planning on getting it, but hey, you know, never say never. But anyway, hope you guys enjoy this review. I know I had fun with it because it's just awesome. And like I said, I'm probably going to be getting off the Power Ranger stuff and going back to Star Wars stuff. Because I do have a huge Star Wars collection, and I'd actually planned on doing a couple videos, even though they're going to be hard to do, because I have to take them off my shelves and then reposition them, and that's going to be tough. But anyway, yeah, this is Stone Destroyer, or Dave on the Stone Destroyer channel, so you guys have a good one.